This reading has a feeling of what are you ready for? So let's go ahead and get into it. Let's take a deep breath together. And I just ask that we're grounded, present, and open to receive messages. First question I want to focus on is, what is it time for? Wheel of Fortune and Eight of Cups. At the bottom of the deck, I have Queen of Wands. It's time to take what you've been thinking over, seeing happen, and make a decision, because the time for waiting around for the right time is now. You know, it's almost like you're seeing the positive and the negative of staying in this emotional state of almost like readiness. And with the Queen of Wands at the bottom of the deck, it's like waiting for the whisper of time. Whisper of time. I don't know why that kind of like sticks out, but you don't need to wait for anything besides just feeling emotionally ready. And if you've been in that state of emotional withdrawal, it could be, you know, I'm like, it's kind of interesting, because when we look at, I'm going to talk a little bit of astrology. When you look at your progressed chart and you look at your progressed moon, which changes every 2 odd years, right? You could be going through a cycle of maybe being in a Scorpio moon phase where you're a little bit more withdrawn, and now you're shifting out of that. So what is this emotional withdrawal pushing you towards? Ace of Cups and the Star reverse. It's interesting to see the Star reverse, because I feel like in this situation, what it's saying is that it's remembering that this time that you spent in emotional withdrawal is about finding yourself, is about knowing your North Star, what you're destined for, and feeling it and believing it. And so what that time, that emotional withdrawal is kind of pushing you out of, it's interesting. The readings that I feel like I've been doing the last couple days is almost like saying, like, get out of the introverted, maybe hermit mode energy, and pursue the things that are outside of yourself, because there's so much going on and so much connection to community that we're kind of needing to see. And you know, Pluto being in Aquarius, it just shifted out of retrograde, and so it's not going to go back into Capricorn anymore. So the last decade or so that Pluto was in Capricorn, it's like now you've seen in this time of emotional withdrawal, with Pluto going back into Capricorn and now into Aquarius moving forward, you're seeing like, okay, this is the theme, this is what's going to be coming up, and this is how I'm going to continue to transform to be emotionally satisfied, fill my own cup, and have that internal happiness through a particularly heavy time. I mean, this card was in reverse, so it is about like seeing the shadows and seeing the parts of Pluto being in Aquarius. So this feels like a pretty big collective read in that sense. And let's just go ahead and get a closing, keeping it general. 10 of Wands reverse and the Moon. You know, I think I had a very similar combination in a reading I just did. And it was, I think the Moon might have been in reverse. It doesn't really matter right now, but the point is again, tapping into that heavy Pluto energy of death and transformation, and seeing like, hey, it doesn't have to be this hard. You don't have to have so much resistance to what's calling beneath you. And I think you're seeing a lot of yourself that maybe hasn't made you happy with yourself. And if you're struggling with that perception, I think it's about being easier so that, you know, the reflection is going to change, right? You never step in the same river twice. And that, I think it's saying, is that you can be easy, you can release what's going on and choose to have a lighter point of view through really dark, heavy times, because we're all going through it. The state of the world and what we're being fed feels very heavy, but all of this is coming out so that we can create something better. Much love.